Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray, and we are here to jump into the finale of season 1 of Interview with the Vampire. So, last episode we had the attempted reconciliation between Lestat, Louis, and Claudia, and of course, Lestat fell far short of what he should be, which is actually contrite, actually sorry. Unfortunately, he hasn't really changed or learned by Louis' estimate from his testimony, from his interview. And in fact, he's, doing everything absolutely wrong. Claudia tried to just go ahead and leave without Louis, but Lestat brought her back, and now Louis and Claudia are conspiring to murder this man. Or vampire, sorry. They want to murder this vampire. And the only surefire way they know how to do it is what? Sunlight? That's about it. They don't know any other ways to kill vampires because, Lestat never taught them, because everything that they know about vampirism, they learn from Lestat. So they only know, and they're very, very clear to point this out, they only know as much as what they have learned from Lestat. Because certainly, what's his name? Bruce never taught, Claudia anything else. He just assaulted her. So there's, they have absolutely no avenue for any information other than fables in Lestat. So the only thing that they know for sure is that vampires can't be out in the sun, as far as they know. I was trying to figure out, because we've seen Armand in the sun, and I was trying to remember, was Armand like a daywalker or something? But I don't think it's that. I think he's just old enough now that the sun doesn't bother him as much unless he's in it for a long period of time. There's some, like the older, I do remember that in Anne Rice's vampire lore, generally, the older you are, the longer you can withstand sunlight before you burst into flame. So like Akasha could be out in the sun for like a few days, I think, something like that, and it wouldn't bother her as much because she was like the original vampire. But like somebody who's super young, like Claudia and I don't know why I just said her name like that, Claudia and Louis, they would burst into dust, But yeah, I do remember that the older you are, the more you can withstand certain things, the more powers you get, the more powerful you are, etc. We haven't met Akasha yet, but I'm really, really hyped once we actually get to Akasha. And season 3 of this is about where we start getting introduced to, I'm pretty sure that's where we get introduced to Akasha in the first place, or at least the first mention of Akasha. And then we actually meet her in Queen of the Damned. I wonder if they're still going to do an average of 2 seasons per book, because this and season 2 are all the events of Interview with the Vampire, and then season 3 starts the events of the Vampire Lestat. So I wonder if we're going to be continuing to get like 2 seasons per book, which I'm completely fine with because those books are really dense. And so I think 2 seasons of about 7 or 8 episodes each is about right. Par for the course. Oh, speaking of, I did kind of just do a quick Google to see if I could watch season 2 of this without watching the Mayfair Witches first. And apparently not a single person liked the Mayfair Witches show. Everybody hated it. I could not find a single positive word about that show. I'm still going to watch it, but I have decided to make the executive decision to watch both these seasons first, and then I will trudge into season 1 and 2 of Mayfair Witches. I did hear that season 2 of Mayfair Witches was a little bit better than season 1 of Mayfair Witches, but that both seasons were terrible in comparison to the books, and terrible in comparison to this show, and terrible in comparison to just in general a TV show. So I tell you, I was like, oh, can I watch this without this? And not a single person said it was good. I was gagged. Now, I didn't get any spoilers for it. All I heard was it's wildly out of character, wildly miscast on a number of people that were in the mains, and it's not worth watching. I'm still going to watch it because I promised you guys, and I promised myself that I wanted to watch all of the shows in this new connected universe. But I'm going to go into it with lowered expectations because this season has given me very high expectations. So if I go into it thinking I'm going to get this same quality, and apparently I will not, I'll probably have a different view of that show. So I'm going to adjust my expectations accordingly when I get to it, but it has made me decide to continue on to season 2 instead of stopping to watch season 1 of Mayfair Witches. So, you know, it is what it is. And I also heard that they weren't really that connected. There's like one crossover, sort of, and it's not vital or anything like that yet. I do know eventually that those books cross over quite more heavily. The characters feature more heavily between the Vampire Chronicles and the Mayfair Witches stories. So I do know that eventually they'll probably cross over more, but I do know that at least for these first 2 seasons of both shows, they're not that connected, so I can watch them independent of each other and still get the same story, just with different lore. Set in the same world, slightly, I don't want to say different lore, but the same lore set in the same world, but with different characters. So I'm going to treat them accordingly as separate until they more heavily intersect in the future, which they may. I did hear that I need to watch Mayfair Witches before we get to the Order of the Talamascus. So I will watch Mayfair Witches first before I get to Order of Talamascus. And then after that, I'll watch them as they release. So I'm hoping I'll get through all 5 seasons of the show before season 3 of Interview with the Vampire drops in early next year. I will try my best to release them on Patreon pretty much in its totality, maybe 2 or 3 episodes a week. And then on YouTube, I'll probably do a combined video where I'll do like all of season 1 in one video, or maybe 2 videos, all of season 2 in 1 or 2 videos, all of, you know, Mayfair Witches, season 1, season 2, that kind of thing, in about a 5 to 10 releases, let's say that, on YouTube. I'm going to do my best to switch to that format for these shows, because I have a feeling that I'm not going to get the same kind of traffic. I have a feeling that that's what I kind of want to do for the last season of Wheel of Time, but like I feel like I have so much discussion with Wheel of Time that it's hard for me to condense it. So I haven't made a decision with Wheel of Time, but we'll see. All right, enough talking about the channel. Let's actually watch the finale of Interview with the Vampire. Let's get into it. All right, there's Holder. He's remembering him from his dream.
So, question. Can an immortal meet mortality?
I've had my fill.
Louis never honored the blood as he should. Blame the teacher, not the student.
Oh, buddy, he's being petty now.
On our doorstep.
You misunderstand. I'm an admirer. I've come seeking help.
He's dying. He wants to be a vampire. We got it. We got it, sir.
Well, you came to the wrong house.
They say that Satan lives in this house, but I say different. I say ain't.
Oh, this guy. Oh, I accidentally touched the glass. Let me clean my glasses. 1 second. All right, let's go.
Angels. Angels live at 1132.
Oh yeah, I know he
Dear sirs
smelled.
and
I know he tasted bad because he was sick as hell. Ooh.
madam,
Cancer of the blood.
it'll only work if you give in. Give him all your heart, and I'll do the rest.
Ooh. All right, we hunter trapping.
I can't
Let's
do
stop.
I'll lose myself in them.
Can you do that for us, Louis?
Ooh, changing our language to say us.
Louis,
Yeah, I can do it.
Hot springs. Those who must be kept.
What was that?
Ooh.
Nothing.
Ooh, not those who must be kept. Not the hint here. he had a moment. He was like, those who must be kept. He felt a caution spring through him. He was like, ooh. The mother and father of our kind. Well, really the mother, if we're being honest.
If I know Italians, they'll be in Santorini with...
Messy. It's so funny. Okay. It's so funny because it's like the perfect vampire family where they're so fucked up and toxic and murderous and evil. And you can like see the edges of what they could be if a number of them would just let go of their egos. Because I actually don't think that it's all Lestat. Crazy I know as that statement is, everybody in this room has a certain level of ego, right? Even Louis. Let's not ever forget that Louis started this series as a pimp, okay? Let's not ever forget that he made all of his money off of exploiting and abusing women. Let's not forget that. Everybody in this room has a certain level of ego. And you can see like the facsimile of a family that they could have been if all of them just didn't have that bit of ego and selfishness. But the fact is that people are people. And they are who they are. And these are like three people who just met in the worst fucking circumstances. And in the worst way you could meet somebody and form a family. It's like the negative found family. Everybody loves the found family trope, including myself. It's one of my favorite tropes. This is like a found family where everything is bad. It's the anti-found family. Where it looks on surface like it is a found family, but it truly is not.
What's that? An idea?
An idea of yours. It must be a small gift, then.
Just petty.
A weak man slips a letter under his door, and the glorious vampire. Easy escape.
It's not worth the risk.
Told you.
Although, if we starved ourselves for a night or several nights prior, the hunger would be transcendent.
A meal fit for a king.
You sound so manipulative, girl. I think he knows he's being manipulated. But he doesn't know to what end. And he also, in his arrogance, thinks that whatever she has planned, he can handle it. But we know, based on the chess game from the last episode, that she does have a way of surprising him sometimes. And I guess there's an argument to be had where one of the reasons is that he simply didn't make her by choice. He made Louis, he picked Louis specifically for the things that he wanted in a partner, but also probably part of what he wanted in a partner was somebody he thinks that he can completely understand and control. Because let's not forget, his story about his previous lover is absolutely true. He definitely left some stuff out, but it's absolutely true. And I wonder, there's definitely an implication that he chose Louis very specifically so that he would never have to experience what happened with Nicholas again. But he didn't choose Claudia. Louis chose Claudia. Louis decided to turn Claudia. And so there's certain level of, on a certain level, Lestat is not able to predict what Claudia is going to do 100%. Sometimes he is, because she's young. She's a young teenage girl with teenage impulses, and she's a bit brash, etc., you know. But by and large, he's not always able to predict what she's going to do. So I think that there is a level where he underestimates her quite severely. I don't want to say severely, but he underestimates her. But I also think that they definitely underestimate Lestat. I think it's just always going to be a bit of a game of chess between the three of them, you know. So like both of them, they both know that the other knows that this party is some bullshit, and she's going to try some bullshit at that party. But they both are playing along because they both think that they can get the upper hand on the other, you know? And, you know, Louis is in between them. They're very similar. It's also probably the reason he never would have picked Claudia, is that he would have observed Claudia as she was a human before he decided to turn her, and he never would have turned her. I can tell you that right now. Also, he wouldn't have turned anybody anybody else willingly and brought them into their home because he wants it really to just be him and Louis. But of course, Louis isn't satisfied by that. He just isn't, and he's never going to be. He likes having people around. Like, he liked having his home with his family. Even his chosen profession has people around him. He likes being here in the city. They've stayed here in this city for like 40 years. You know? Like for almost 40 years, something like that. Close to 30, maybe not 40 because it's the early 40s now, and he got there in about 1910. Yeah, so they've stayed here for like 30 years almost. And it's because Louis has wanted to be here. It's no other reason. It's because he likes being around. He likes comfort. He doesn't like change that much. And he likes being around people that he's familiar with and that he feels comfortable with. But Lestat likes it when it's just him and Louis. He likes running away from his past and from other vampires, other people, whatever. He likes controlling everything in his world. And when he's with other vampires that are not made by him, he can't control them in the same way. So it makes him uncomfortable. So anyway, let's keep going.
This is me and your two-tone daddies, circa 1910. But can you tell me, little girl, what's wrong with this picture?
That mustache?
You didn't have that funny X on your face back then.
I mean, this is all good and sufficiently creepy. What do you want?
I want to be Raj.
King of Mardi Gras.
Him? Where do you meet the devil? And what are the terms of the agreement?
He's like, what? Eternal life, huh?
The crew of Raj had been 3 years in planning.
Interesting. What was I about to say? I was about to say something. Yeah, I weirdly, for a guy who's so detestable, I kind of like him. He's just detestable enough that you kind of feel like he's a snake. But he's not as bad as, say, the Alderman was. Alderman Fenwick, you know? He's in that sweet middle spot where you're just like, ugh, you kind of hope he gets punched out. But I kind of... I think he's been, like, interestingly long-lived. Considering his proximity to Louis and Lestat, it's crazy that he has lived this long. And somehow he just feels like kind of like a rat or a cockroach who will live forever. But I imagine he's going to die at the end of this episode. In their, Grand Guignol, whatever it's called, party where they absolutely slaughter everybody in the room.
Their Mardi Gras theme, and they abandoned it within a week once the Parisian law.
You aimed at the navel, seduced the seducer.
By the time we began our fasting,
Oh, he can corroborate that. Yeah, there's some stuff he probably would be able to corroborate through history.
You
just
aimed
wouldn't
at the
be able
navel.
to cover up. But
Seduced the seducer.
I want to read the paper. After the ball is over, the stench of murder lingers. Yeah, I figured they definitely murdered everybody. Hold on, I want to read this. No, let me see it. Okay. Society's attention was focused on the crew of Rod's exquisite ball, which took place this past Fat Tuesday evening as a most climactic event to the parades and balls of this Mardi Gras season. To be invited within the shimmering halls of the Savage Garden. Sorry, I'm like leaning down and everything. Hold on. I love reading fake newspapers and TV shows and movies. Anyway, to be invited within the shimmering halls of the Savage Garden would be a considerable social catch this season. Now it seems 9 unlucky guests were the ones being fatally caught. My fellow reporter has done his duty in reporting about these missing persons with objectivity. However, New Orleans is a city that relies as much on rumor as it does being a port of trade. So shall we review the real facts at hand? Okay. I wonder if this is like from the books, because I definitely don't remember whether or not there was like an article in the book or something that recalled this, because this feels like something Anne Rice would write. Anyway, many crimes in New Orleans have officially never been solved, but ask around and you'll hear quite a different colloquial conclusion. To begin, everyone and their mother knows that the rumors concerning Mr. Poindelac and Mr. Leoncourt have been unsettling for years, perhaps even decades. Yeah, the rumors concerning them have been unsettling for years, perhaps even decades. Certainly, when I was a young man, I've heard rumor of those weird brothers, which brings me to my first point, which most of the town already speculates, that these two ball sponsors are not brothers at all. Furthermore, why were they sponsoring the event, and why have they not been seen since that fateful evening? It was a known fact in town that both monsieurs sought to leave New Orleans after Mardi Gras season. Could it be that they were planning not 1 or 2, but 9 vicious murders as their going away gift to our city? Again, these are our these are not yet official homicides, but the lack of evidence so far leads one to imagine the worst. Sorry, it's blurry, so I'm like filling in the blanks here. While the police keep quiet on the event, reporting as something particularly with see, I can't read that part. Crescent City, something about the Crescent City. Orvar, this part is too blurry. Particularly with the disappearance of Tom Anderson. Something. I tell you what, this is an actual article because these are not like the same words repeated over and over. I can't read them. They're blurry, but this is definitely an actual like article that they wrote. I can't read this part. This is too blurry for me. Yeah, it's too.
By the time we began our fasting.
Yeah, it was too blurry. But that was like a full-on article. And it definitely, I was looking at the words and those were definitely different. The more you continued. So it was like a full-on article. Sorry to do that, but I love sometimes just pausing to read articles or look at HUDs. If it's like a sci-fi show, I like to pause and look at the HUDs to see if they make sense, logical sense, if it's on a screen or something like that. I tell you what, one show that does a fantastic job with screens and HUDs, The Expanse. They put some thought into every single screen that they show in that show. In that series, they don't make like stupid goofy screens or like repeated screens that make no sense or anything like that. Every screen has a purpose and they put a lot of thought into that. Pause any screen of The Expanse when you see like a HUD, like an in-helmet HUD or a character at a computer looking at a loadout of data or information, and it will have relevant information on it. Really good HUDs. I love The Expanse HUDs. Anyway, let's keep going.
Lestat would have told you the entire
People
endeavor
are
had
so
been his
cool.
idea to begin with.
When is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See,
Again, on
he's
fasting.
seeing him
Lestat
in the
would have
window
told
and
you the
he's
entire
thinking,
endeavor.
I must have been mistaken. He's not a vampire. But I know that he's way older than Lestat and Louis. And thus, he could stand in that sunlight and not immediately burst into flames. You know? I don't want to say way older. Well, no, I will say way older. He's like 3 times older than Lestat. 3 or 4 times older than Lestat. No, maybe just 3 times. Like, because isn't Armand like almost 1,000 years old, something like that? He's close to 1,000. Trying to remember when he was born. Maybe not 1,000. Maybe like 700. 600-700, something like that. He's either way, he's much older than Lestat. Lestat is like what? 230, something like that. years old, something around that. Because he was 160 or almost 160 when he met Louis, and that was about 100 years ago. So yeah, he's about coming up on 300 soon. Armand is at least twice as old as Lestat.
It had been his idea to begin with.
When is it?
We're matched only by the sun-hot ego of the Vampire King.
I love her hairstyle, by the way. He's like, Mardi Gras! Bitch, I'm a princess! Love it. They're like, that's crazy.
The ball that followed was an assault of the senses, an extravagant waste of money. And while Lestat's poor taste on the float drove away most every member of the Raj Committee, there was plenty scouting the rooms for varietals of death.
I've always wanted to go to like a masked ball.
Would you like to know the secret of immortality?
Was off.
You miserable dogs.
Antoinette, because she's a vampire now.
What about a dog?
What dog?
You just said something about a dog.
I said no such thing.
Oh, well, I guess she could just know that he could hear voices.
You're just hungry, Louis.
You heard what I said just now, didn't you? How you heard me over the band? It's gotta be one of those tricks that you and your fag, pederast, satanic...
Jesus! He wants to become a vampire, right? Like, he wants the same thing. Why would he come up with this energy? When you're asking them for a favor. Like, he's not going to get it regardless. Like, he's definitely getting murdered. But why do this? If you're going to ask them to make you immortal too, why would you say any of this?
Trio got in your pocket.
Do you know the secret to immortality?
He said, yeah, no, I'm killing this man.
Never get married.
It's a good joke. Wandering out to catch a silent flash of lightning.
All right.
The sucky warmth of summer rain.
What's that?
Desperately alive.
He's like, I want to take us back to the
And
time
desperately fragile.
when we first met. Nostalgia, baby. It'll trick everyone.
The hunger has me too, it seems.
Boutonnieres have all been given out.
The last dance before the feast.
Like, everybody kind of knows that they are about to
I like
try
it.
and kill him. I think
like
it's
it very
so... It's so
Much
clear that
will
he
be
knows.
written about that grim night in New Orleans, but not a single mention of our last hour of the troves. As if the only crime unfit to print took place on that
Two
day
homosexuals dancing, or, excuse me, two MLM dancing. Everybody was like, ooh, we're not going to talk about that.
Start. But in his mirrored eyes, the distraction reflected.
The scandal. Let's get out of here. Fucking that dude.
May I finish this dance?
You feel happier, sister.
Messy. She was like, sir, I know you were not falling in love on this dance floor.
In the 3rd arrondissement of Paris, one in particular sits before you all.
You know, this was definitely the age of, like, occultism. a little. I mean, there's every age is the age of occultism, if we're being honest. There's always a secret society of a secret society, you know? Everybody loves a little bit of the occult, if we're being fucking honest, to be honest. But I feel like definitely there was a vibe. So everybody's like, ooh, let's be in part of your secret society, your secret party.
That's what's in a punch bowl?
Amretra. Shasmai Kausa.
Louis de Poindulac, born in 1878.
And
I drank of the water.
Tom thinks that that's real because he knew Louis before. So he's kind of there low-key. I mean, partially because Louis wants to kill him. But also he's there because he could corroborate their stories. He didn't know Lestat and he didn't know, Claudia. But he knew Louis. He's known Louis almost the entire time that they have lived in this area. I assume maybe not when he was a kid or anything, but certainly once his father was run out of business and he started his business,
Water in 1910. I'm 61 years old now.
Lestat de Lyoncourt.
And he knows that that's real because they're about he's supposed to be only a few years older than Louis, and he's definitely not looking like Louis right now. He knows that Louis is 61 years old. He can corroborate that.
It's empty.
Not for a long time.
He just ripped that old man's jaw off. Oh, Louis, he hasn't killed like this in a while, huh? Even when he's killed humans, it wasn't... recently, as part of their bargain for him to just go ahead and drink human blood. I feel like he hasn't killed like this since those early years where he was really feral. That was crazy. He ripped his whole jaw off. Ooh, look at evil as hell. I don't know what he thought he was about to do.
How generous of you.
He's not drinking that, man.
What is it, my love?
I think it's the gin.
Oh. It's a wrap! Wrap it up! Cut the fucking cameras! He did not even almost say that convincingly. Louis was not cut out for this. First of all, he was already suspicious. And then we saved this last one just for you. Sir, be serious. I think it would have actually worked better if they had just driven the twins into his room, so that he would then be forced to kill them and eat them, etc., in order to stop them from escaping. This whole presenting it to him on a chair thing, it's just bound to fail. But then again, that might actually be what Claudia wants. That we think that this is the way that she's going to do it, but she's actually going to do it in a completely different way. Possibly.
I wasn't talking to you.
Laudanum.
More agreeable to our life together.
Yeah, he was lying. Or she was lying. Sorry, I said he was lying. I meant both of them, really. It was Tom. He drank Tom first. And
Lestat,
Tom was all stumbling.
you must think me an idiot.
She's so funny. She's just like him. Neither one of them wants to admit it, though. It's Tom.
He who called you him. Always the petty slights with you, Uncle Les.
The one he wanted to kill most. Hey, fuck this bitch. Did we smash her head in? Or
Louis.
you deserve this, sir. You made their lives hell. You deserve this for sure.
Louis, I have loved you with all myself.
Definitely not all yourself, but all of what you think is yourself. He hasn't learned yet. Lestat has actual character development to go through before he becomes actually genuinely worthy of Louis. And Louis also has some character development that he needs outside of Lestat too. Like, they both, I think, needed to be away from each other for a long time. But Lestat doesn't understand this about himself. He thinks that he's a complete person right now, and he is not a complete person. He still has a long way to go on his character arc.
The irises dancing from side to side.
The blood budget on this episode, y'all. Is she about to write in his blood? What happened? I knew it! Because she's just as petty.
Moi dans mon sourcil. Louis, Louis.
Put me in my coffin, Louis, Louis.
The thing lay still.
Title.
There was no point in lingering.
We need to burn him. I've killed so
definitely
many. Just
should have burned him, but we did not. Alas. We did not burn him.
Don't know if I can.
A mistake.
Just load him in. Of our lives.
All right, we're about to head into a
Well,
European arc.
Isn't that neat and tidy?
There was a ship. We did get on it.
You didn't kill Lestat. You spared him out of some fucked up idea you had about love.
Love. I bled him like a pig and waited for the death.
Yeah, but you didn't throw him into the furnace, which would have definitely killed him. You spared him. You just made it so that it would be a long time before he caught up to you. You definitely did not believe that he was dead, truly. You know, which is, again, why you should have burned him. If you truly wanted him dead, you would have burned him, sir.
You were shot point blank by an alderman. You were dropped 1,000 feet and survived. You torched Antoinette, just to make sure. Wife, I can state with authority what else you'll find there.
Rodents, food.
Rats. Big fucking rats. The size of Kevin Durant's sneakers. Rat eater of them all.
This session is over.
Oh no. He's 100% correct.
How many days in the Islamic year? How many names are there for Allah?
I couldn't burn him.
But Claudia could.
No, she couldn't.
She stuck a pen in his neck. She recorded his last words in his own blood.
He
the girl
dragged
did not
her
have
out.
a fucking problem tossing him on the grill, okay?
the sun's coming up.
No.
We have to burn him.
No.
It's the only way we'll know.
Louis, you need 100 sessions of EMDR. You know the shit they put so.
He's not wrong. Now, some of that shit definitely happened, but he's definitely editorializing.
Soldiers through when they see one of their platoon buddies get blown up in front of them.
You've only heard half the story.
Stop.
Hundreds. Legacy? That's for board members and assholes and loafers. My daughters aren't even speaking to me anymore, so at least I can leave them some cash. But an honest
Taking his
reckoning,
contacts out so we
no.
can see his actual
This
eyes.
is the same shit that happened in San Francisco.
Not exactly.
Won't save your life. Louis can sometimes act out. I protect him from himself, always have. Stopped him that night in San Francisco. What's a mediocre start to a 514-year-old vampire?
Yeah, I was like, I know he's like way older than Lestat. Okay, so it wasn't almost 1,000. It was like, or 700 or 600. It was 500 and some change. Okay. My boo thing.
The love of my life.
Well, we're certainly saying that. We are certainly saying that. Part one. You know, as somebody who kind of... Okay, pause. It's so funny watching this show where I don't remember everything, but I remember enough to be dangerous. Does that make sense? Yeah, interesting. So obviously this whole season I've been spoiled that that's Armand. So I know Armand, obviously, you know. And I know in general, I remember in general his role in the story and everything like that. And he's a great character. There's a reason that he has his own book, you know, because his story is really good. It's really cool. I wonder if they're going to fold his book and into the show, or if we're going to have a series that like focuses heavily on Armand. It's interesting because we are following each book in the Chronicles. So are we going to get like a whole season that's just focused on primarily Armand, that covers the Vampire Armand book? Or are we going to mix it in with the rest? I don't know. I don't know which way they're going to go when we start getting into some of the, like, Memnoch the Devil. Like, are we going to have a whole season that just focuses on the Memnoch? I don't think we are. You know, like, are we going to... Also, that's a good question. How far are we going to get to... Not to spoil too much, but are we going to get to Atlantis? I haven't read those books, but I know the general premise of some of those. And they were off the wall. So, like, are we going to get that far in the saga? Or are they going to come to, like, a natural conclusion with a certain amount of the books, you know? Like, we're going to go this far, and then that's it. Or are we going to start getting some of these random other series? I don't want to say random, but like there were other books in the series that were not focused on Lestat and Louis or their romance or anything like that. I mean, we're already getting the Mayfair Witches side story and the Order of the Talamascus, which I think the Order of the Talamascus is like based on the stories within the books, but there's no Order of Talamascus book, I don't believe. That's all brand new, just maybe cobbled together from their histories in the lore. So they could go anywhere they want with it. I don't know. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that it's so interesting watching this. One, already knowing that that was Armand this entire season. And so you get to see how he behaves with the knowledge that he is Armand in the back of my mind, or I do. It's interesting watching it. It's also interesting because I do know, I haven't read, like, when I say I haven't read the books, I'm very serious. I've only read up to like maybe book 6 of the Anne Rice series. But I have some general knowledge of what happens after that. Some general knowledge of what happens after that. And so there's some interesting things that I do know that I'm wondering if they're going to put into it. And they certainly have been, they've certainly hinted at some stuff from the future, like the, you know, obviously they who must be kept and everything. In the first episode, we had the reference to the Mayfair witches when Louis' sister mentioned them, and his brother mentioned them at the table, at the breakfast table. So we have the hints of the larger world already being spoken about in a number of ways. But I'm curious to know how far we're going to go with it and how much we're going to divert away from Louis and Lestat. Because I feel like Louis and Lestat have been like the centerpiece of the show and certainly the biggest draw for a lot of people. So I'm wondering how successful the show will be when they try to pivot away from those two a little. We very rarely ever fully pivot away from Lestat in the main Vampire Chronicles chronology. But I wonder if we do end up pivoting to some of these other side stories, how the audience is going to feel. And maybe that's not something they're interested in, and maybe they either not adapt those or they'll just weave those into the main story between these two. It's curious. I'm curious. It's so tough because I love Armand. I think Armand is such an interesting character. He's not necessarily good. He's not the good vampire to Lestat's bad vampire. So if you walk into any of this thinking that any of these characters are the good version of the bad blah, you're not going to enjoy your time here. All of them are complex, and so all of them contain goodness and badness. You know, not necessarily in equal measure. There's some that you would consider to be worse, or some that you would consider to be better. But at the end of the day, they're all kind of detestable in their own way. But they are detestable only in the sense that, you know, you would expect in a story about a bunch of fucking, you know, murderous vampires. Like, you know, relatively speaking. Like, we don't watch What We Do in the Shadows and expect any of them people to be good. They're constantly draining and killing people in What We Do in the Shadows. But we still root for certain people. Even Guillermo, who's the familiar, is like collecting people to feed to his house of vampires that he's taking care of. You know? Like, even Guillermo is not a good person in What We Do in the Shadows. There's nobody that's good there. And you can kind of take that, and obviously What We Do in the Shadows is very much influenced by the vampire culture that was created by Anne Rice. So, like, I just feel like you kind of gotta adjust your expectations for good and evil accordingly. So when I say that Armand is not the good vampire to Lestat's bad, I mean that. I'm very serious. You know, Armand has fucking issues too. Louis has issues too. He has also issues. I did really like the crescendo, because we've been talking about it all season about how Louis does not have a reliable memory. Not just because he can't remember, but because he's very deliberately painting certain pictures, both in the 70s and now. He's very deliberately editing his story. And so it's completely biased information, and you can't really trust it. But the question is, why can't you trust it? Can you not trust it simply because he's too afraid to face the truth? Because he is an abuse victim talking about his abuser? Is it because he doesn't remember 100% accurately? Or does he have a malicious reason for editing the truth? You know? Or is it just born out of pain? Like, all of these things have to be considered when you think about why Louis is telling this story. Why is he telling it in this way? Why is he lying or obfuscating parts of it? Why does he keep secrets? That's been a constant refrain this entire season as well. And why is he telling it now, specifically? You know? These are all questions that you kind of have when you're thinking about Louis as a reliable or unreliable narrator. And he's very much unreliable. And we've seen that throughout the whole season. And I like that it's culminated in this episode with, him being confronted by Daniel, who's like, this is some bullshit. There's a reason that they made Daniel's character more of a straight shooter, and just, he likes to just, you know, he's very dogged in his pursuit of actual factual truth, you know, something that he can prove. He wants to corroborate stories. He likes gathering secondary sources. He's a reporter, you know. And they've also made him somebody who isn't afraid of calling out their bullshit. He's not afraid of them. Or at least he's not, I don't want to say he's not afraid of them, because I do think there's a certain level of fear that he has and caution. But he also is dying and knows that he's dying and is therefore unafraid of death. He probably doesn't want to die painfully, which he could, but because he has this perspective of being somebody who is dying from his Parkinson's disease, he also has the liberty to be more blunt and upfront with Louis and Armand as well, you know? So I like that they've positioned him in this way, in the story. Not that Anne Rice didn't do that as well, but I just feel like we didn't get as much with Daniel in the books. But it might just be my memory. Again, memory is fucking fickle. I don't remember everything. I've been very clear with you guys that I don't remember everything about this series when I read it and after I've read it. And I've only read the early books maybe a couple of times and the later books once. You know, like the books, you know, like I think I read Memnoch the Devil. Yeah, I definitely read Memnoch the Devil. Because that's the one where Lestat meets Memnoch, and there's like a whole thing with God and Jesus and all that, right? Isn't that the one? So I've definitely read Memnoch the Devil. But other than that, like I definitely have only read that maybe once, you know. So my memory of those books are very tenuous, let's say. So I could just be incorrect, but I feel like we had Daniel, and certainly I remember Daniel for the most part, but I don't know if we had this version of Daniel. I feel like Daniel has been updated or adjusted to fit the specific way that they want to tell this story. I don't know. Yeah, no, this was great. This has been a great season, but it definitely felt like a part one. When they showed that part one on the screen, I was like, yeah, it feels like a part one. Honestly, this episode being the final episode before season 2 would have driven me insane. That would have driven me insane if I actually watched this in real time on television, as the episodes were airing. So I'm glad I'm about to jump straight up into season 2. I'm about to watch like at least the first couple of episodes of season 2. I have time, so you know, since I've decided not to make this this particular recording session be a mixture of this show and Kimjira, I'm just gonna keep watching this show and jump right into season 2. I don't know how many episodes, at least 1 or 2 episodes before I call it for today, and then I have time tomorrow, but tomorrow I really gotta edit. So I'll see. I'll edit first, and then if I have time, I'll watch a couple more episodes of this. But yeah, no, I've been having a blast, but this cliffhanger would have killed me, and I'm glad that I'm not gonna wait. Anyway, I had a great time with this. So I don't have any thoughts about the season other than I really liked how they played with memory, with nostalgia, with how nostalgia can trick you in a couple of different ways. Just like nostalgia was starting to trick Lestat and Louis back into their old habits, the way that Claudia tricked Lestat by making him think everything was exactly the way it was before, etc. Just really love the chess game that happened between them there. But of course, it all gets derailed by people making choices. And in this case, it got derailed by Louis making the choice to not actually kill this man and instead throw him in the trunk. Come we all know that he's not going to die. Like, you know, I even question whether or not the slit throat actually incapacitated him, or if he was just, you know, feeling really, you know, hurt about his boo betraying him one more time, and so he let that happen and let himself get thrown in a trunk to see how it play out, to loosen the reins a little bit and let them fly free, etc., etc. I could see him doing that, being like, ooh, this is not working, let's have a change of scenery. But I certainly know that Lestat is not letting them go. Like, he's going to come back with a vengeance. And he's going to be really pissed about all of this that happened. So, you know, let's watch it. All right. We'll go ahead, I think, and wrap it up. And then I'm going to jump into season 2. I'm ready. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Going over to Patreon if you're interested in full-length or early access to this show, as well as other shows I have on my channel. I will be watching a bunch of stuff from my channel, mostly queer Asian dramas, so sapphic shows, as well as MLM, BL shows. And I also occasionally dip into just Western sci-fi fantasy, because sci-fi fantasy is my favorite genre. I also have non-queer stuff over there. Not a lot, but some. With mostly just Chinese dramas. Like, yeah, Chinese historical dramas. But for the most part, I prefer sci-fi fantasy or speculative fiction. That's just me. It's just the drama, the genres that I like in terms of my dramas. So, yeah, I'm far more drawn to them than any other genre. And I have been for my entire life, since I was in like middle school. Even before that, really, if I'm thinking about it. But certainly since middle school, that's the genres that I'm most drawn to. Speculative fiction, sci-fi fantasy. So, yep. All right. I think that's it. We'll go ahead and wrap it up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Baby, it's whatever. All this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter.